What is poppin', YouTube? It is Sydney Island here. That's Island with the Y, not an S. How you doing? So today we're going to be talking about what are people's first impressions of you based on your rising sign. Okay, so I want to start off by saying that I already made videos for the rising signs, but that was years ago. I honestly don't even remember what I said in those videos, but if y'all are interested in watching those old versions, the link for those videos are going to be in the description box below. I did a lot with those videos. I remember I had pictures, I had, you know, celebrity references and all types of stuff. All right, so the rising sign. Okay, so the rising sign, also known as the ascendant, or ASC abbreviated. So your rising sign is pretty much your facade. You know, you could say it's your facade. It's how you come across to people. It is the first impressions that people have of you when they meet you. It is your body structure, your bone structure, you know, your facial structure. Sometimes even the way that you speak when you first meet people. It's your overall vibe, you know, especially the vibe that people get on the first day that they meet you. But this is also how you approach human interaction. We're gonna go through all the signs, starting with Aries, right? So if you have an Aries rising, Aries is the sign that was on the horizon when you were born, right? So your rising sign is very important. You know, when I first started doing astrology, I did not think that the rising sign mattered at all. I was like, rising sign, okay, whatever. Your sun sign and your moon sign is like the most important thing. But the more I research is the more I realize that the rising sign is a very, very powerful placement, right? Whatever planet rules that rising sign, it rules your entire birth chart. Okay, so you can't overlook this. Your rising sign is the head of your chart. Literally the head, as in Aries, right? Because Aries rules the first house, right? And that's where your rising sign is. So whatever your rising sign is also whatever is in your first house, which is Aries house. This is the sign that starts off your entire chart. This is your head. This is the head of your of your birth chart. So for an example, we're going to start off with Aries rising, right? So Mars rules Aries, therefore Mars rules your entire birth chart. So you operate from that Aries energy. Aries starts everything off and then it goes all the way down to Pisces. So you may be a cool, calm, collected, grounded earth sun, but you approach life like a fiery, bold Aries, right? So this is how people perceive you, right? This is how you come across to the average person. So you come across bold, Aries. You come across bold. You come across confident, okay? This is a good rising sign to have if you have a desire to be a leader, right? Like you may be a shy Aries rising, but because you have an Aries rising, you have the upper hand when it comes to being able to boss people around and tell them what to do and have them really like, listen and take orders from you, right? Like you may be perceived to be a very bossy person. You come across very energetic and lively and bubbly and fun to people. You know, this is a fun rising sign to have. A lot of people perceive you to be a very fun, happy-go-lucky person with a really good sense of humor, right? And even if you're not necessarily these things, you come across this way to people, right? That's what the rising sign is all about. You are more so your sun and your moon. Your rising is the way that you come across. So as an Aries rising, you come across like a go-getter. You come across competitive. You come across like somebody that if you want something done, you're going to do it regardless. You also come across very childlike. You know, you come across like, you know, kind of silly and lighthearted. So the rising sign does rule like your bone structure and how your face looks and how your eyes, especially your eyes, the rising sign definitely rules the look that you a lot of the times have in your eyes and the way that you make people feel when you maintain eye contact with them. So people who have an Aries rising a lot of the times are really good at having very direct eye contact, like very straightforward eye contact. So Aries rising people, because Aries rules the head, a lot of people with Aries risings may have really big foreheads or just a really big head in or a really big head in general, or a head that kind of juts forward, like maybe they stand with their head kind of like, jutting forward like this. And I've noticed this also is the case for Aries sun too. A lot of Aries sun and Aries rising, just your sun and your rising, there's similarities when it comes to the way that you look and the way that you carry your body. Same for Aries risings, having a lot of these people have like scars on their face. Like they could have like one scar somewhere on their face, a lot of the times from getting in physical altercations, from fighting, from sports, things that are a lot of times very physical, things that had something to do with them moving their body a lot. This could be you getting an injury from doing something daring and dangerous, like jumping off of a building like way up in the sky and you knew you weren't supposed to, or jumping down a flight of steps, because these people can be very daring. And this also goes for Aries sun as well. I've noticed a lot of Aries sun people have stories where they got like burns on their face or got hit in the face or something like that. All right, Taurus rising. So, Taurus rising, despite how you may feel internally, you are good at coming off as reliable and grounded. You are good at coming off like somebody that people can depend on, somebody that people can lean on in a time of trouble, somebody that people can confide in. You have like that upper hand when it comes to being able to charm people. Taurus rising people are very, very beautiful, like OMG, because planet Venus, which is the planet of beauty, rules Taurus and Libra. So Taurus and Libra risings, I've noticed, they get a lot of attention, okay, whether they want it or not. Okay, so a lot of the times Taurus rising people are blessed with natural beauty, right? And a lot of the times Taurus rising people's beauty is like, it's ethereal, there's like this is a goddess. Like if you're a woman, it's like this goddess kind of beauty, it's almost otherworldly, but also earthy at the same time. It's like this strong yet soft beauty. Your presence is very comforting to people. And I can speak on this being a Taurus sun. No, I don't have a Taurus rising, but I do have a Taurus sun. So I can speak on people perceiving me to have a very cool, calm demeanor. But I do have a Virgo rising. So, double earth. Of course I come across that way. Taurus rising, you come across very mature. This is a really good rising sign to have. It makes you come across as very approachable and very agreeable. People look at you like you're somebody that they can get along with and be relaxed around and be themselves around. You come across very stable, and your vibe is kind of hot. You got this sensual kind of vibe about you, not overly like sexual. Like there's some rising signs where their vibe comes off kind of sexual. Like I would say Leo rising and Scorpio rising kind of got this sexy, sexual kind of beauty to them. But Taurus rising is less sexy and more sensual. Less sexy and more like this. It's almost like an innocence to your beauty. And people may perceive you to be sexy because you just are beautiful. Like Taurus rising people, you have really good bone structure, right? And you're really good at dressing yourself, right? Because you have a knack for beauty and fashion. So Taurus rising people, these are the people that they show up dressed to the nine. Is that the saying? These people show up well dressed, like they know what clothes to put on, they know what clothes to buy. These people may have very expensive taste in clothes. You want to show up looking hot. That's all I'm saying. Taurus rising a lot of the times are very conscious of their physical appearance. Taurus rising males may have those chiseled jaws, may look kind of like Robert Pattinson from Twilight, who is a Taurus sun, like that male model kind of look. The Taurus rising females, you're really, really, really good at putting on makeup. Like anything that has anything to do with beauty, you got it going on. Gemini rising. Okay, Gemini rising. This is a very interesting rising placement. It's a lot going on here. You know, you won't really be bored with a Gemini rising person. So Gemini risings, these people are gonna smile a little bit more than a Taurus rising, right? Like Taurus risings be looking all cool, calm, and collected. They don't really feel a need to smile. But Gemini risings, you may smile quite often. You come across very lively, very witty, you know, very communicative, very social. You're really good at talking to people. Even if you feel very shy, and maybe you may be an antisocial person, but you're good at coming across as a socialite. You're good at coming across like somebody that is a people person. You come across very inquisitive, like you ask a lot of questions. You really want to learn about the people around you. Like you really do take an effort and an interest in getting to know the people around you through communication. Gemini rising, you have lively eyes, you know, eyes that have like this spontaneous childlikeness in them. People love looking into your eyes because they're very intrigued, because it's like, oh, what is Gemini rising thinking? You know, probably 1,000,001 things all at once. And that's why you're so interesting to people. You may come across even a little bit scattered to people. People may be like, well, I can't keep up, you know, because Gemini risings, Mercury rules your chart, right? So you're a thinker. You may be prone to overthinking. You think a lot, you talk a lot. You're a very communicative rising sign. Yeah, like I said, Gemini risings, you make an effort to get to know everybody in the room. Despite your own social anxiety and your shyness, being social is really important to you. It's really important for you because this is the first impressions, because the rising sign is people's first impressions of you. It's really important for you to come across as a social person. It's really important for you to come across as a socially charismatic person and as a person who has a grip on their presence in a room. Okay, Gemini rising. So when it comes to your physical appearance, you're not afraid to be impulsive when it comes to your physical appearance. Like you might just randomly get a tattoo or randomly get a piercing, because Geminis can be very impulsive, and this rules your physical appearance, right? This rules like here what people see when they first look at you. You really are good at keeping up with the latest fashion trends, because Gemini is all about the news and what's going on right now, what's happening right now, and information that's coming at them in their close proximity, right? Remember, their opposite sign is Sagittarius, which Sagittarius is all about learning about what's going on out there, right? What's going on in the world. So Geminis, you are concerned about what's going on in your close proximity. Like right now in my town, the trend is wearing these types of shoes, and so you're going to be really good at keeping up with the latest trends. You have a very trendy fashion sense. Cancer rising people. This is an interesting placement, and it can be a little dangerous, because Cancer rising people, I've noticed, are really good at coming off so sweet and nurturing and empathetic, and then have a whole nother side to their personality. Now, this is obviously not the case for all Cancer risings, but I want to throw out Tyra Banks has a Cancer rising, and this is not me knocking Tyra, but she really was good at, and I'm not saying that she don't care about the girls on America's Next Top Model, but we perceived her to be very nurturing, like mama bear of the models. But then all these other rumors started coming out about her and her not so nice side and the way that she treated some of the girls. Kind of like Pisces rising, these people can deceive you. Okay, these people can come across as sweet and caring, but then not really actually care on the inside. Sorry, Cancer rising, I had to come out with that. There's plenty of good about you, okay? So let's get there, okay? So Cancer rising, you can be very nurturing, or at least you come across that way. You have a very a gentle, very warm, caring demeanor about you. People feel safe around you. People want to get close to you. You come across like you have a certain level of emotional awareness and emotional depth, right? Somebody that people can confide in, especially when it comes to how they feel about things emotionally. You may even come across as protective, like somebody that might beat ass if they messing with your loved one. You also can be very intuitive. like very intuitive. You can sense when a person is uncomfortable or if a person is sad. Like your intuition is very, very, very intense. You can pick up on the emotions of the people around you, and you can use this gift and this ability for better or for worse. You, a lot of the times, your facial structure, you have like a very circular, like this very round face. Not all the time, of course. Not all Cancer risings are going to have this structure, but this is a common trait of Cancer risings, having like a circular face, or maybe a little bit of a baby face, a face that kind of reminds you of the moon, which rules Cancer, right? Very round, you know, maybe chubby cheeks, you know. You may have like somewhat of a innocence to the way that you look and into the way that you come across. And you may have like big, doughy kind of eyes. It's like this emotional depth that you give off that can be a little bit like hypnotic, you know, and magnetic. That's why I say Cancer risings, you got a lot of power, okay? You do. You can really draw people in with that emotional depth and with those alluring, like wide, you know, emotional, sensual kind of eyes. So be careful. You got a lot of power. You know what I'm saying? So this placement can be dangerous for somebody who has mommy issues or daddy issues if the Cancer rising is not evolved, you know. Because Cancer rising people, they give off mommy daddy vibes. Like they give off parent vibes, you know. Like if you're somebody who has issues with your parents, you might like latch on to a Cancer rising because they make you feel like you finally have parents. All right, Leo rising. I have to say, and doing research on the rising signs and just brushing up on the rising signs after so long recently, Leo rising was one of my favorite rising signs. Leo risings, y'all sexy, okay? Leo rising, you hot, you sexy. I mean, you a fire sign, okay? So you know how to be hot, okay? Hot to the touch. So Leo rising, you are one of the rising signs who is not afraid to be as sexy as you know you can be. And Leo rising, you know you can be it, okay? It ain't no doubt, okay? Leo rising people are the people that come across like the cool guy or the cool girl. You know, they're not afraid to put on something edgy, something with a lot of like flames on it and fire symbols and stuff like that on it. They're not afraid to wear those leather jackets, you know. That's kind of Leo rising. It's like leather jackets, you know, like maybe a shirt with a little ripped up sleeve on it, you know, tattoos, you know, heavy, thick black boots. Like Leo rising is fierce. Your outfits make a statement. You know, you got all eyes on you. You got heads turning. Because not only do you know how to dress yourself in a way that is unique, but also trendy and cool, but you have a natural sexiness to you. You know, your aura is very alluring. You know, you give off this vibe that you might be, you know, you might be a freak in the you know what, you might be a freak in the bed. You know, you give off that vibe like you'll be very fun behind closed doors, you know, in the bedroom. Your confidence is what draws people in. Like you are a magnet, okay? You come across like you know who you are, right? You come across like there's a certain pride to your demeanor. Even if you are suffering with low self-esteem or whatever, people can still perceive you to be pretty confident. Leo rising, you're very charismatic. You're very bold, and you have a very vibrant, like lively personality. You may come off very outgoing, and to some people you may even come across a little dramatic. You know, you may come across like somebody that you doing the most right now, but you don't care because that's just you. I'm Leo. You wish you could be me. You wish you could be dramatic like me. You wish you could come out of your shell and express yourself like me. So Leo, you're meant to shine. Okay, it's a part of your destiny to shine. You're a Leo rising. You're meant to be seen. And even if you don't want to be seen, you're going to be looked at. You're going to be seen whether you like it or not. So get over it. So a lot of Leo risings I've noticed, you guys have like very big, long hair, right? Like naturally, you know, Leo risings are blessed with the hair because think about it. The lion is Leo's symbol. The lion is your character, right? So the lion's mane is like, the lion's mane is like all over the head, big. The lion's mane looks like really big, hair. And I've noticed a lot of Leo rising people have very big hair, very big, very thick, very long, voluptuous hair that stands out. And even if you don't naturally have that, you may do your hair in a way so that it can look like that. It's just crazy how many Leo rising people I've seen who have like the big lion's mane hair. It's just crazy how this stuff works. People be like, that astrology stuff ain't real, that don't mean that. Yeah, whatever, shut up. Yeah, so Leo rising, you like hair that hangs over your face. You kind of like that wild look, because you are wild. You're a wild one. There's a certain friendliness and a lightness about your face, but even with that lightness, there's a seductiveness. There's like this seductive confidence, in your eyes. Like your eyes can be very seductive because there's like this certain self-assuredness that you have in your eyes. Like, I know who I am. I know what I bring to the table. Also, Leo risings, as much as you love compliments, because you do, and you may not tell people this, but you love for people to hype you up, you also are really good at giving other people compliments as well. Like, you're really good at hyping people up and uplifting them, because you know that that's what you want, and so you like making people feel good, and you're really good at it. All right, Virgo rising. So Virgo rising people, whether you like it or not, and this is something that I have battled with my whole life, and I'm still battling with it, is that whether you like it or not, you have a tendency to come off very innocent and sweet, even if you don't want to come across that way. Okay, I have said about, this about myself for so many years, that my face betrays me. Like, my face and my demeanor and the way that I sometimes naturally just carry myself out in the world, like sometimes I feel like it betrays who I really am, because I have an Aries Mars. So I'm very feisty and fiery and opinionated. But with my Virgo rising, I come across as kind of quiet. Not all the time, but a lot of the times when I'm in an environment for the first time, right? Because rising sign is the first impressions of people. When I first walk into an environment, I come across very like soft and like not very judgmental, but I am very judgmental. That's the thing. So Virgo risings, people can perceive you to be somebody that comes across very observant. People can pick up on that from you, and you are Virgo rising. You are very observant. Like, oh my God, you see the details in everything. Okay, your mind never sleeps. You may even suffer from anxiety because your mind, like I said, your mind never sleeps. You see everything. You feel everything. Like, you're very analytical and you're a very calculated person. You're very thoughtful. You're a very deep thinker. And a lot of times you possess some pretty, and a very impressive amount of intelligence. Like, the Virgo risings are the geeks of the zodiac. Like, I'm a geek, okay? Virgo risings are the nerds. Virgo risings are the ones that are, got their head in the books, always reading, always researching. Like, Virgo risings love to read. They love to learn. To people, you come across very practical and very down to earth, and somebody that you can come across very mature, like somebody that is no BS. Virgo risings, the look that works best for you is like a very clean, polished kind of look, not too much makeup. As a Virgo rising, you should never like pile your face with a lot of makeup. For Virgo risings, less is more. Okay, it's absolutely fine to wear makeup. Obviously, I'm wearing a little lipstick, but this has worked for me. Like, in the past, when I would put on a lot of makeup when I was younger and I didn't really know what I was doing, it was cute. But now that I'm older, I know that for me as a Virgo rising, less is more. Like, you ain't got to pile on all the eyeliner. You don't have to wear eyeshadow every time. You know what I'm saying? So, and it really does work for me. I actually really do feel more beautiful when I put on less makeup. Virgo risings, you may be a very health conscious person. Oh my God, I really take this to a whole nother level. Like, I am a nutrition geek and I have been this way for years, okay? Virgo rising, you are very concerned about like the vitamins and everything. You're like, oh my gosh, I just ate that and that had vitamin B and it didn't have enough of this vitamin and da, you know, and I, to this day, I'm just super interested. Like it really does interest me to know what vitamins and minerals are in what foods. Like this really does matter to me, to the point where sometimes I can be a little calculated about it and I'm like, okay, today I ate sugar, oh my god, it never stops, it's crazy. I was just thinking about that today. I'll be like, okay, I'll literally go grocery shopping and be like, since I bought 2 things with sugar in it, I can't buy anything else with sugar in it. Like I'm very calculated when it comes to my diet, right? So Virgo, you wish that you could be that person that just eats anything how other people eat it. You wish you could just sit down and eat a whole bunch of pizza and barbecue wings, but no, you're like, okay, I put too much ranch. I'm laughing because my sister, who's a Virgo, literally was like, I can't believe it, I went overboard, I put too much ranch on my pizza. And she really was serious about it. And then I had to bust it out laughing like, she's a Virgo sun with a Virgo rising. So she really was even more serious about it than me. Like she was like, sometimes I go overboard too, Sydney. Sometimes I put too much ranch on my pizza. And she was so serious about it. And I bust out laughing. And she laughed because she realized how silly she sounded. If you would like this juice that I got today at Kroger, they had all the options, okay? They had all them super sugary sweet juices. They had the Kool-Aid. You know how black folks be doing. But me, I'm like, I'm going to get the aloe vera juice. I'm going to get the stuff. I like that they have pieces of plants in it. Like, very Virgo rising. So, Virgo rising people, we are very meticulous. We're very careful about a lot of stuff. We're very careful about even like the fabrics that we like to wear on our bodies. We're very careful about the foods we eat. We're very careful about the people that we spend time around, because Virgo rising people are not the most social people, okay? Virgo rising people don't like to be around any old kind of person. Like Virgo rising are the people that have something called discernment, right? If it don't feel right, if a person's energy ain't feeling right, we ain't gonna be nowhere near it, okay? We have very high standards in like so many different ways. So as far as your physical appearance, Virgo rising, you do have like this purity to you and this innocence to you, you know? Think about it. The virgin is your symbol, the virgin and the maiden. So even if you're not a virgin, you can come across like a virgin. I mean, let's just call it for what it is. I still think about that to this day, where like a friend had made a comment and was like, you seem like a virgin, or and mind you, I was not a virgin, but I definitely can see how I can come across that way, and I probably still come across that way to people, which is kind of, I don't know, it's ironic because I'm almost 30. It's weird, but yeah. Virgo rising people, the Virgo rising girl is like the girl next door. All right, so Libra rising, darling, you are gorgeous. You are so damn beautiful. I gotta call it like I see it. Because planet Venus, which is a planet of beauty, rules your sign, and it rules Taurus, right? So Libra rising, you have a natural beauty that draws everybody in. Like I'm sure that almost every Libra rising, somebody has had a crush on you. Okay, because you are fine. Okay, you fine and you pretty and you beautiful and all those things. With you, your beauty is not like sexy like Leo rising, like I said. It's more angelic, like otherworldly. Libra risings, you are super charming. The charm on you, you can charm the white off of rice. And especially if you got double Venus, like if you're a Taurus sun with a Libra rising, which I have a good friend who is. He's the type of guy where females will literally go crazy if he tries to break up with them, literally. So Libra rising people, you're very magnetic. Everybody want a piece of you. Everybody wants your attention because you come across very balanced. You know, you come across very balanced. Like you have a very balanced perspective on everything. You know, you don't lean too much over here, you don't lean too much over there, right? Or at least that's how you come across. And you come across very socially charismatic, and very charming. And there's like this subtle confidence to you. It's not like out there like super bold like a Leo rising, but your confidence is like, it's a subtle, like you kind of get this vibe that Libra rising knows that they are the like they know it, but they won't brag about it. You know, they won't be in your face about it. So Libra rising people, you have beautiful faces, like very symmetrical faces, you know, because you are the scales. It's all about balance. So there's a certain symmetry that people can find very enviable. You have like beautiful, like the perfect soft cheekbones, and your skin looks really healthy. You know, Libra rising people, like Taurus rising people, your Venusian sibling Taurus, like them, you're very conscious of how your face skin looks. You have very good self-care. Like you are really a well-dressed person. You have a lot of care for the way that you present yourself, like the way that you look. Like you really are concerned about looking beautiful to people. So Libra rising, whether you're a man or a woman, there may be this slight like feminine air to your beauty. Like there's like a slight femininity to your stare. And in a man, women find that to be very, very alluring, like because they feel like you're the type of man to be in tune with your feminine side, or in tune with your sensitive side. And you know, us women, we love a sensitive man. Libra rising men are not necessarily rugged, you know, not like a Leo or Aries rising man. Libra rising man and Aries is your opposite. Hello. Libra risings can be a little superficial when it comes to how they want people to perceive them. Like a Libra rising will literally date somebody because they make them look good. You know, like Libra rising would be like, well, I don't necessarily connect with this person, but because they're beautiful, I want to be with them. Like, and if they're beautiful, then I'm going to look beautiful and I'm going to look good. And, you know, you're very image conscious. So Libra rising, one of your strengths is that you're really good at bringing people together. You're really good at squashing conflict and bringing about harmony in an environment. People love you, Libra rising. People freaking love you. Okay, Scorpio rising. This one of them. Scorpio rising ain't no joke. Scorpio rising, you are intense. Okay, you come across like there's like this silent but bold self-assuredness about you, right? Like you can come across like you know who you are. It's like this silent, very stable confidence. You give off this no BS type of vibe. Like you can be very intimidating to people. Like people may be a little scared to approach you sometimes. You may come across a little unapproachable because you may come across like you might have a mean side to you, you know, or a side that can be cold. Even though Scorpio risings, you're more than likely more sensitive, you don't wear it out like that. You don't want people to look at you like somebody they can try, and you don't want to come across vulnerable. So you keep a lot of that inside. Like you're very private about how you feel, you know? So you're not going to put your feelings out there. No matter how sensitive you feel, and you're not going to put it out there. So you may rather project this more cold, kind of serious demeanor so that people can know you ain't the one to mess with. And in the grand scheme of things, Scorpio rising, you're really not the one to mess with. There's a certain strength to the way that you come across. And people can sense that there's a certain depth to you. Like you're a deep thinking person and a deep feeling person. Like you're far from shallow. Your eyes show that. Your eyes project a certain depth that is very unique and not a lot of people have. Scorpio rising, any water rising, in my opinion, can be pretty powerful. But this is a powerful rising sign because you, a lot of the times when you come into a person's life, you bring about change. Like you help them to transform a lot of times in, you know, in a spiritual kind of way. You like that you come across intimidating though too. Like you either you like it or you don't care. Like you're not one of those people. You're not a people pleaser. Okay, you don't care to come across a way that makes everybody feel comfortable. Like, you kind of like, if you feel uncomfortable with the way that I come across, that's a you problem, not a me problem. Sagittarius rising. Okay, my love. So Sagittarius rising, this is a fun rising sign. Okay, so if you have a Sagittarius rising, you have good luck when it comes to how people perceive you. You're one of those people that people instantly love. Like, they instantly want to be around you. People instantly find you to be a joy to be around. Like, you are somebody that is adored by so many people because you smile a lot. Like, Gemini rising and Sag rising, who are their opposites, Gemini, Sag, are opposite signs, smile the most. Smiles are known to be very beautiful, very attractive. Like, smiling makes a person more attractive. Sagittarius says you got them. Sagittarius rising more than Sagittarius sun, I've noticed. You smile a lot. It just comes natural to you. You're one of those people that when you smile, you make other people want to smile. Sagittarius risings have the adventurer spirit. You know, these people are very outgoing and they love to go on adventures and do different things. Like, these people are far from boring. They don't like to be bored. They don't like to be around people that they perceive to be boring. They do not like to be tied down. Sagittarius rising is going to do what they do when they want to do it, or at least they're good at coming across that way, because you could be a Sagittarius rising with a Virgo moon and you're going to be adventurous regardless, but you may have like an internal world where you do secretly want people's approval, and you do, but being a Sagittarius rising, you are good at coming across like, I do what I want to do, even if you don't really feel that on the inside. So you like to keep an open mind. You're very optimistic, and people love to be around you because they feel like that you're going to put a positive perspective on the reality around y'all. You're very enthusiastic, very free-spirited. You're a free spirit. You're going to go and do what you want to do. Like I say, even if you're nervous to do it, you're going to do it anyway. You also may be perceived to be somebody that's loud, just straight up. Whether you're a loud person or not, like, you can be an introvert, but come across as very loud and outspoken, or your speaking voice, like, you may be quiet, but when you do speak, your voice, it projects, like, it's very loud. In Sag rising, not only do you smile with your teeth, but you're really good at smiling with your eyes, right? Like, there's this brightness and this liveliness and this like you're in your eyes, it says, I am genuinely happy to be alive. Who doesn't want to be around a person like that? Yeah, you have a very electrified, like, this fiery, youthful look in your eyes, and it makes people, like, it draws people in. You have a great sense of humor. You're good at making people laugh. Like, you are freaking hilarious. That is one of your strong suits. And you may even be interested in philosophy. You know, you may be interested in what is the meaning of life? Why are we all here? And be somebody who will dedicate a lot of their time to figuring that out. You feel that fun and travel and joy are tied to spirituality. Capricorn rising. So this is one of the more serious rising signs, which is like a huge jump from the sign that we just came off of, which was Sagittarius rising. So Capricorn risings, you come across like no BS. You come across like it's only but so much bull that I can come with a Capricorn rising with before they shut me down and tell it like it is, right? So Capricorn risings, even if you're very soft and sensitive on the inside, you can come across cold, like rigid, like you don't care about people's feelings. Even if you really do, like, you can be an empath as a Capricorn rising, but come across like the opposite, come across as apathetic. So Capricorn rising people are very ambitious, very, very ambitious, very hardworking. A huge part of your identity is tied to your work. A huge part of your identity is tied to how good at disciplining yourself are you. You know, how good at disciplining yourself and getting the job done are you? You feel that if you are not doing those things, like if you are not disciplining yourself and working hard like you know you can be, that may mess with your identity. That may mess with what you feel like is your sense of self. Capricorn rising people are the people in the workplace that will be the most professional. Like, these are the people that you can rely on to come across professional and to do what they need to do. You know, they're not the lazy ones in the corner bringing everybody else down. They're not the weak link in the chain. You know, they're the powerhouse in the chain, if anything. These people are good at coming across very mature, like very mature, very responsible. You come across wise beyond your years. You are somebody that has like this silent but bold sense of authority about you. Like, you're not gonna like push yourself onto people, but you still have a certain sense of authority about you, and it's like a certain, like a silent wisdom about you. You can come across very reserved, somebody that doesn't really like to be front and center necessarily, but you will take the initiative and do what you got to do. You may even come across, or you may be like a judgmental kind of person, with very high standards for yourself, and some people may feel like, I don't think I can ever reach up to Capricorn rising standards. Some people may feel that way. You know, there is like a certain, with Capricorn rising, there's a certain kind of like awkwardness sometimes to a Capricorn rising, and there's a certain like nervousness as well, because like Virgo rising, Capricorn rising is always thinking, and they may think too much. Capricorn risings, you can be very self-controlled, like you're very concerned about, like, you don't want to make a fool of yourself. So you can be very self-controlled, and sometimes it can be even too much for you. Like, learn how to let loose and have some fun sometimes. You're very mature. Everything that you do, you really prefer to do it with purpose, or you don't want to do it at all. Aquarius rising. So Aquarius rising, you're not afraid to come across as quirky, you know, you're not afraid to come across as unique, you know, different. You're not afraid to be the one person in the room wearing that outfit, you know. You're going to walk into the room wearing something that nobody else is wearing, and you're going to put different shapes and patterns and designs together that nobody else would even think to put together. That's you, Aquarius rising. You think outside of the box, and you kind of pride yourself on that. Like, you like that you're unique and different. You don't you don't want to be like everybody else. You don't want to wear what everybody else is wearing. Aquarius risings, you may come across very goofy, very silly, and very friendly. You know, you may come across like the life of the party, but here's the thing. You really, truly, internally are a loner. You may come across like, you know, I can be around people. Yeah, I don't mind being around people, but you really would rather be alone. You know, that's where you find your peace. Aquarius risings, you are always thinking about the future. Like, you're always thinking towards the future. Like, you don't like to gripe on what has already been done and what has already been passed. You're like, okay, that's done. Now what do we do to make things better for the future, right? You're very future oriented. Yeah, like, you can be a little bit unconventional in your ways. You're a little different. You give off freedom lover to people. You give off maybe even hippie. You may give off hippie vibes, you know, flower child, free spirit. Your fashion sense may even be like that hippie, you know, fashion sense where you like for your clothes to flow off of you. You don't like to wear clothes that make you feel restricted in any way, because you're an Aquarius. Like, you don't like restriction, so you're not going to want to wear clothes that make you feel restricted. These people may even come across artsy, like have a very artsy sense of fashion. Like, they just have that artist look about them. Somebody that may have like the tats, the piercings, the hair that's dyed some bright color, like, you know, you got your hair bright purple, or, you know, you got a mixture of purple and pink in your hair. Like, somebody that really comes across like a non-conformist. Like, you like to come across as somebody who is not trying to fit in. You're not trying to make your parents like proud necessarily, or you're not trying to be the girl that the guy is trying to take home to mama. Aquarius rising, sometimes you do feel like the odd one out. Sometimes you do feel like a misfit and outcast, and sometimes that bothers you, like, because deep down inside you may have a longing for community, and you feel like no matter where you go, you just can't really get that, just because so many people think like each other. Yeah, so Aquarius rising, you crave deep conversation. You crave deep, intelligent conversation, and sometimes you feel like you can't really get it. You love to talk. You do. You love to talk. You love deep conversation. You just don't really feel the need to talk to everybody about everything. Aquarius rising, you're very strong, and you only want to be around people who are also strong-minded. You only want to be around people who are can also be themselves and don't really feel the need to fit in. All right, last but not least, Pisces rising. Okay, so those who have a Pisces rising, this is a very interesting rising placement. So you may have this dreamy air about you. You know, you may be somebody that is very magnetic and can dang near hypnotize somebody and put them under a spell, because you have this by this angelic vibe, or this vibe that didn't really quite come from here, you know? Like, it's almost alien like you may have an alien way to the way that your eyes look, or an alien way of speaking. You may have a very like strange, soft, or high-pitched kind of voice. Ooh, Michael Jackson, Pisces rising. There's also a sense of spirituality to your presence, you know, like people, it's like this spiritual sense that people can't quite put their finger on about you. But this placement can be dangerous, like Cancer rising, because people with a Pisces rising can deceive people, right? Because Pisces can be the sign of deception and confusion, and also illusions. So you, more than all the other rising signs, Pisces, can deceive people and pull the wool over their eyes more than anybody else. I have to say it. And I'm going to mention this one celebrity who had us all fooled. And this woman's name is Ellen DeGeneres, right? Like, she's an Aquarius sun with a Pisces rising. And for the longest of times, everybody thought that she was one of the nicest women in the industry. Next thing you know, all of this stuff is coming out about her bullying her employees and being just this mean, cold person. And even the people, her guests, like being rude to her guests. Like other people, like fans, talking about they come up to this woman and she just give them a mean, cold look. Like they asking for her autograph or whatever. And she just stand there and give them a mean, cold look. Like, apparently, for the longest of times, Ellen DeGeneres was known to be a not nice old person in the industry, but she had me fooled. I thought that lady was real nice. I'm like, I want to meet Ellen one day. I want to be on the Ellen DeGeneres show. When I was younger, I used to want to be on Ellen's show because I like Ellen. Like, she seemed like a really cool, funny person. She seemed like somebody that really cared about people, you know? But come to find out, she don't really care about folks. She don't care about people. I mean, I don't know her personally, but as far as what I've heard or seen, she's apparently notorious for creating very toxic work environment, right? And just being a bully. She's an Aquarius, by the way. They can be so mean. Oh my God. And she has a Pisces rising. Pisces rising people are really good at pulling the wool over people's eyes. Okay, they are the sign of illusions. Okay, that's the dark side of it. Okay, but on the flip side, Pisces rising people also are prone to deception. These people may also spend time around people that are just huge red flags, but they can't tell themselves because they may see these people with rose-colored lenses. So Pisces risings are prone to deceiving and being deceived. So we're going to talk about Michael Jackson having a Pisces rising. This could point to somebody that has issues with their identity, because Pisces is a sign of confusion. You may be confused about who you are and how you may be confused about the person that you feel comfortable presenting yourself to people. And we saw this with Michael Jackson. You know, obviously he was one race and then next thing you know, he was another. There's no consistency, right? He was confused. He had a lot of issues. He had like deep rooted issues with his identity and the person that he is, and the way that he looked. The rising sign is your physical appearance. So there was some confusion and chaos when it came to his physical appearance. Unfortunately, Pisces rising people sometimes do have, like, you can kind of sense this sadness in their eyes, or this dissatisfaction or discontentment, or, I mean, this is not always going to be the case, of course. Or, you know, you may have somewhat sleepy eyes, like eyes that look like, you know, that you're tired, you know, like natural sleepy eyes, because Pisces does rule the dream realm, and you know, Pisces rules dreams and visions. Pisces rising, though, you do draw in a lot of love. Ellen DeGeneres drew in a lot of love. Okay, a lot of people love Ellen DeGeneres. She was very popular. Her show was very popular. Michael Jackson drew in a lot of love. I mean, a lot of love. Pisces rising people, you exude this aura of love. You pull in love like nobody else's business. Like, OMG. Pisces is the sign of unconditional love. You know, there's a spirituality to the love that you receive, right? You can feel very connected to God through the love that you receive. And I could see Michael Jackson, you know, when he be on stage with his arms open, like he was really receiving that love. Pisces rising, your eyes may be a very circular shape, very big and very doughy, and have like this very soft innocence to it as well. And in your eyes, there's a certain sensitivity and also an emotion, you know, like high emotions, like a lot of emotions. Like you may come across like somebody that's very emotional and very sensitive in your eyes. Like there's a lot of emotion in your eyes. And you may be a little bit moody at times. You may have mood swings and can be a little bit unpredictable with your emotions. Pisces rising, you are a true artist. Like you are definitely an artist, and you have a knack for fashion, art, decor, things like that, and you could be really good at it and be a trendsetter, you know, because of that. Hello, Michael started a whole trend. That man was very innovative with, you know, his look and his dance moves and everything. Yeah, all art. So that is it, y'all. That is it for the Pisces rising video. This was a lot of fun to make. I sat here for a whole damn hour talking about the rising signs, so that was a lot of fun. I'm gonna have another video after this. I'm filming. Let me look at my notes. Hold on. Yeah, this one is about the rising signs and the 7th house, which this one that I'm about to make is going to be about the other person, which is your person, your partner, your soulmate, your future spouse. This one is all about you, but the next one is going to be about your spouse. It's going to be about your other, you know what I'm saying, your other half. So that's it. Please give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. I love you all. Bye bye. Come on now, that was so awkward. That was so Virgo rising. Just kidding. Okay, bye.